What is up, guys? NYC Anime Nerd here, and it is Wednesday, which means we are talking One Piece. We're gonna be have quite an interesting topic tonight, but first, I'll let my co-hosts introduce themselves.
Oh, it's me first. Sorry. Right. Yeah. Hi, I'm the broker. I talk One Piece theories more than anyone, really, because I have no life outside of One Piece. I don't use social media, but you can find me on Discord at broker #6973. Come fight me based on anything, really. I think that Marineford is totally mid, so fight me on it.
Still so wild.
So wild.
But true. But true.
All right, and I am Nerdtaku, and I am at Nerdtaku on pretty much every single platform. If you just type it in the search bar, you'll most likely see my logo, and then you can hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Go over there, like my stuff. Watch my Marvel Rivals thing where someone professionally talks mad smack to me. But
I saw that. It was great.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I was crying. The dude told.
Honestly, I was starting to believe as it went through. I thought, "No, this has been set up." He must have said, "No one is this insane."
Yeah, no, like it was so crazy. Someone literally just DM'd me and was like, "Bro, sell your PlayStation and buy new thumbs," and I was cracking up. It was so fun.
No way.
Yeah.
Wait, did you post the DM?
Yeah,
also?
I did.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's
I was dog walked. I was like 1-12 in comp, and I was doing terrible. I fully accept that I was trashed that, but I was on like a.
Oh, I thought you meant you owned him after.
No.
No.
I was doing too well in comp, and then I got into the sweatiest lobby I've ever been in, and I got trashed. And then the dude on my team was literally sent me a message to sell my PlayStation to buy new thumbs. It was so funny.
That's what you get for getting into Silver 3.
Hey, I just made it into Plat 3. Thank you.
Nice.
Who were you playing?
I was Scarlet Witch, and then I went to Moon Knight because I was doing so terrible. I got trounced as Moon Knight. It was not a good time.
Did you have somebody playing Doctor Strange while you were
no, nobody was giving me the team up, so I was just rolling solo.
It's been the same with me. It's just been like ever since they've made Scarlet Witch really quite good in terms of like the ability. Now no one wants to play them, so now you don't get the ability ever.
Well, because Doctor Strange got nerfed, and now he's not that good, and so it's like it's so hard.
When in doubt, go Bucky, man. That's the rule of thumbs. Don't buy new thumbs, go Bucky.
Well, the problem is I was facing a Captain America, and literally like you need to be Scarlet Witch or somebody who can get past his shield, but my team was not helping while I'm trying to get him off point, and it was just I was getting trounced.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
they nerfed what do you call it as well? The strategist I like to play, Cloak and Dagger. They've been nerfed, so
yeah. Well, they just got buffed today, and Spider-Man.
Excellent.
And Spider-Man got that nerf. His uppercut no longer uppercuts from 5 meters; it's 4 meters.
Yeah,
I'm like he still can be a mile away basically and uppercut me.
Taku's like, can we get through this? I just got home from work. I want to play Rivals. He's like, I gotta go in.
Listen, I'm craving it.
Yeah. So speaking of nerfs, Broker, I know you're not a big One Piece anime watcher. Taku, you watch it, correct?
Yeah.
You saw what the animator wrote about the sound of the new episode, the Kizaru Luffy fight?
I didn't hear anything about the sound per se, or I just heard that Kizaru was going all out supposedly, and Luffy was just like taking it mad easy on him. And I mean, and someone pointed this out. They were like, Luffy now is Kaido on Wano, and basically Kizaru is Luffy trying to box him. Yeah.
It definitely looked that way, but the reason why I asked you that is I'm drawing a blank on the animator's name. He's one of the main.
Vincent Chansard.
No, not
Oh,
Chansard.
not
He's one of the
him.
main One Piece, but he's like he went all out. He's like, our sound team needs to be fired, and I guess like Shueisha went to him today and was like, you have to delete this tweet. Like people are going wild.
Oh, I have
And
not
so,
seen this.
yeah, and so like he deleted the tweet today, but like
Is this worse than Blackbeard using red lightning?
I mean, the sound, I didn't think the sound was that bad. I mean,
I mean like I didn't yeah, like it's not something that like I picked up on. Like the thing that I picked up on more so is like, to me it looked like Zoro's blades were fully black before he was using Conqueror's coating, and so like that to me, maybe it was just like the angle they were held at, because I know that like the shading of them, but they looked
well, he
fully.
was using, I think he was just like using base armament over them. And so, but then when he like fully brought out his conquerors, then the
Green flames.
green flames were on them.
But so that's the thing. They, when it made like the sound for prior to the conquerors, like before it made the sound, like he, when he pulled out his, they looked black, like all black. And I
I'd have
was
to
like,
rewatch it.
and so I don't know if it was just like, maybe I just like wasn't looking at it well enough, but it's just it looked, the blades looked weird they looked fully black to me, to the point where I had to like, where I opened up the panel to be like, to look at it, to just see if like maybe like the shading on the panel was like that, but they looked fully black to me.
People are heavily downplaying Zoro after that episode.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree. People are like, there's like saying the gap is widening between Luffy and Zoro, like in
Well,
that.
which I agree with, but like they had I opened up like I think it was Facebook or Instagram, and it was Lucci like awakened holding like a baby Zoro and being like, hush hush little guy, and he's like, no, but my fans said I could low diff you, like, and I'm like, yo, what is happening?
You're saying like the opposite. Like
Yeah.
there's really.
Yeah, people are saying that Lucci is handling Zoro, and I'm like, what are we watching?
Because
I'm
to
like,
me, I watched it, like I felt like Zoro was just like easy like defense, like.
Well, this is the problem when we still have no way of knowing how much stronger Lucci got. We never saw Lucci again because Lucci wanted to know what Gear 5th was. Luffy went straight to Gear 5th pretty much. So we never saw that standard progression that we see with most fights where Luffy starts off in like Gear 2, then he'll go to Gear 4, then he'll go to, Snake Man, and it'll progress. We get that sort of benchmark on how strong somebody is when how much they can compete with Luffy. But because he went straight to Gear 5th, walked Luffy, we still don't know where Lucci really ranks.
Hey, Broker, maybe it's just me, but your mic's coming through a little choppy, just so you know.
Oh, I was about to say the same thing about yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
you both
Taku,
whose
is it? Whose is it?
I mean, it sounded both sounded okay to me. I don't know.
Oh, well, okay. So yeah, so I was just curious if you saw that. I'll send you guys it. It's and yeah, I didn't notice anything about the sound. The impact frames, the ones that Vincent did, I thought were, I mean, just like so crazy because like we have animation that's like so well done, but like in a Tom and Jerry style. And
Yeah.
then we have, like Solo Leveling animation, which is not like so cartoon-esque right now. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. Obviously, I'm saying it because of Toon Force and everything, and
Yeah.
it's supposed to
Yeah.
look
No, I get
like
you.
that. But just like the impact frames he's able to do on these because of like these vibrant colors and these wacky, you know, movements are just like like I feel like I watched the show just to like then go back and look at the impact frames because I think there's that like he's really actually the goat at this.
Tell
Like,
me you're a geek without telling me you're a geek.
yeah, exactly.
Listen, I like literally, I bet you it was 30 minutes after the episode aired. I saw on TikTok someone breaking down every single impact frame, like
Oh yeah,
frame by frame. I was like, man, you guys are dedicated to the craft. You
yeah.
know?
It's hard to do that. I've like tried to like it's not easy like to really to like get good and like every frame, but
See, I have a bit of a problem with this sort of thing because now it seems that, especially when we see like, oh, Guinness World Record this and max amount of views on Crunchyroll, what it seems like more and more to me is that people are just interested in the quality of the animation more than the actual quality of the story. Like this is why Demon Slayer got to #1 for so long because the
it
story is
has
dog shit. The story's rubbish. It's just not that good. It's fine, whatever. But it being #1 for weeks and weeks and weeks on Crunchyroll because the animation style is nice.
but it hasn't been #1 in like years and years, bro.
No, no,
We also got to remember that.
yeah,
You
but it's just being overtaken by things like Solo Leveling, where once again the story
know?
is
No,
okay, but the animation
no.
quality is
Solo
superb.
Leveling overtook One Piece on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, for
No,
like I
yeah,
think it was like 2 weeks or
but
whatever.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
exactly.
But it only overtook because of the animation quality, not because of the story itself.
Well,
Oh no,
I
no, it's
me
a popularity contest for
Yeah.
sure.
yeah. I
That-
mean, me personally, I love Solo Leveling. I think the story is really good, but I've also read the entire manhwa, so like I know the full story.
Yeah, me too.
I'm reading it at the moment. I've just got to the part where his what we assume is
Spoilers,
oh sorry
everyone.
Yeah.
sorry where the really big muscly guy beats the hell out of the guy when he's sat in an office. That one.
Mhm.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That
Yeah.
bit.
Got
Yeah,
you.
that's where I'm up to.
Listen, anybody that has read it, you haven't read Solo Leveling now until you've read Ragnarok. Because it
So
changed.
That's the
I'm
sequel,
getting
right?
there. Yeah, I haven't
It's the
started that
well,
yet.
Hang on,
yeah.
I have a question. Isn't the sequel already out in anime? Isn't there already?
No.
No. You're
No.
probably thinking Records of Ragnarok, which
Oh,
like
okay.
every time
Yeah.
I say Ragnarok, someone's like,
Yeah,
"I love
yeah.
Records of Ragnarok." I'm like, no,
Yeah,
not what I'm talking
I
about.
think I think I'm thinking of Castlevania as well. There's like a Castlevania sequel that's out.
Oh,
Some
that's yeah, I
Yeah,
know exactly what you're talking
doesn't
about.
that
yeah.
There's
doesn't
the
that
The
that begins
Netflix
with an R?
one.
That begins with an R as well,
yeah.
doesn't it?
No, it starts with an N. It's like
Oh,
Nocturne.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Nocturne.
I
Um,
can't keep up with all this stuff.
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. But what were you gonna say about Ragnarok before we jump into today's discussion?
Well,
Sorry.
I haven't read it yet. So I read all
Oh,
of Solo Leveling
mm.
after season 1. I binge read it in like a week.
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah,
is crazy.
yeah.
And then so I started reading Ragnarok, but there wasn't like there wasn't a ton out, and I am a binge reader by nature. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wait till there's more out. So I plan on picking it back up.
Yeah.
And trying to get through all of it unless
Well,
there's still chapters coming out.
oh, you don't know.
No.
They just announced that it's getting the One Piece treatment. The first, there isn't even 300 chapters out, but the first 300 chapters is just the prelogue to the Ragnarok story.
Oh
Mm.
God.
They said they're going like 1,000 plus.
Oh
Hey,
no,
it's I
no,
mean, it's a pretty good story. I mean, I'm
no,
cool with
no,
it.
no. It's
No,
not. It's
and
all
Jin
it
and
is. It's just
Jinwoo just showed up in Ragnarok, and
it is.
spoiler central. We're headed into the Marvel universe with this one.
Oh
Let me tell
God,
you.
no, no. So
That's
it
the
is.
one thing that they're starting to actually. I won't get
I
into
was
it.
gonna say
Yeah.
last thing on it then. So another thing people can fight me on if they want. Solo leveling is just One Punch Man and Sword Art Online combined. That's all it is.
I
Not
very
the
much
not the
disagree.
manhwa, not the manhwa. Definitely not the manhwa.
Okay,
Uh,
but everything that has
because
been animated so far.
No.
no,
Okay, right.
I
Okay, they have the exact same grading system for monsters. They're fighting in a virtual instead of them being in the virtual world as such is coming to them. They have different guilds. They have groups that go raiding together. And again, you have this one character that is supremely stronger than everybody else. It's One Punch Man and it's Sword Art Online combined.
listen, I didn't see a single part of incest in Solo Leveling, and so it can't even be
not yet.
I,
Sword Art
I,
Not
Online.
I was going to say, what's the in? I haven't read it in so long. It's his sister, isn't it? It's the
Yeah.
weird.
no,
Yeah,
no, and in Alicization, like what? All
I'm
right,
not.
whatever.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tentacle weirdness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that came out of
Oh
nowhere.
no,
Listen, the
the
first
technical
season of
weirdness was in season 2 with
the
when they're on
listen
the tree.
the first season of Sword Art was great, and
Yes.
then it just like got super
Which
weird. But
season was it with the
and,
guns?
That was
well,
I thought
it's now, and it's
Oh
the
God, it's not still going. It can't be.
no, they made
a
Sword Art Online
spin-off.
2
Of
Gungan,
course they
and
did. Of course they did.
but he's not in it. All right,
Yeah.
so my
Yeah,
yes
let's
no
get into
question to start us off: does Law have the glaze because he's just that fucking cool looking?
Yes.
No.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to go.
Oh,
Listen,
that's it. That's it.
exactly. I can't say more. That's what's fun about it. All right, so 11:47.
Yeah,
Taku.
let's talk some God Knights, some Gunko, and some 1147. So I know like a lot of people have been speculating about Gunko. A lot of speculation. Like I
Yeah.
mean like
More
record numbers of speculation.
like more than I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
I didn't even see this amount of speculation about Loki when we met him.
Or Emu.
Nothing like this. Or yeah, not even Emu. Like, you know,
Do do you think it has to do with the show being back and now like people? Because
I was going to say that.
I did something. I did something. There's three types of One Piece fans right now. There's the readers, the watchers, and the one pleasers. The ones that just started watching but pretend they've watched it all. And uh it's like that group that came into anime with Solo Leveling that like now
Oh
just
God.
need the next big thing.
it's I don't even think it's that. I think it's the people who knew that Roof Piece was coming and they were like, I'm just gonna watch from Roof Piece. And then
Yeah.
they've just like that's
Oh
all
well.
they know.
Somebody, no, who was it? Was it Oda himself or one of his publishers said that? Oh, you can start watching from Egghead.
I
Well,
think so, but listen, sorry, broker.
That's right.
Oda is alive. Vincent Chanzard is meeting him. Is having a meeting with him.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, because
but yeah.
that's definitely true. And I'm sure we'll see lots and lots of video evidence about it.
Okay, but I don't think Vincent Chanzard has anything to gain by like faking.
No. But he wouldn't know Oda if it was actually Oda. Is my point.
That's true.
Very few people would.
It's actually Oda's clone.
Yeah, it's actually
No.
Gunko's daughter.
Yeah, as I say, Oda's dead. Oda died during his eye operation. Rest in peace.
That would be
Okay.
crazy.
And
Okay.
yeah, me and
Well,
NYC have been saying this for a
let's
while
get
now.
back to the chapter.
Sorry,
So,
yeah, distractions.
So yeah, just record number of speculations on Gunko's part. I'm talking like everything. Me, I'm kind of just in the camp that this was an orphan, and so there was a theory that I was kicking around that we don't know Gunko's age, right? We
No.
just assume that she may have been around for a long while. And one thing that that One Piece talk brought up that was very interesting to me was um, the fact that someone was saying that she might be originally from the place in the West Blue that Brooke was originally from, and that's how she knows him. Now, I would say that that would make sense, maybe, but there's also a part of me that is wondering because of the way she looks if there is any possibility and I kind of like this if she was Law's sister. Um and
Whoa.
so and
I'm
so
excited to hear this.
So I've been thinking about this a lot. Someone had mentioned this, so I can't take credit for the fact that someone had said that this is Law's sister, but this is just me expanding on it.
Yeah.
Um, Law's sister was really young, and w- she would have been an orphan who died in the white lead disease town.
Oh,
And so if she somehow survived, because we never actually saw a body, um, it would make sense that the world government found her. And if they were able to somehow, I would say Saturn is a good example of this, was to be able to use science to cure her of the white lead disease, but it resulted in the changing of her, like her eyes. Like the medicine were like, if because the white lead disease involves patches everywhere. What if the first patch that she got was over her eye? So when it was cured, it ended up like changing that eye color. Um, it would be really interesting, and it would make sense why she wasn't given a saint name. And the reason being is because she's also a secret D clan member, because of the fact that Law is a D clan member himself. So they wouldn't give the enemies of God a saint title. So that's the whole reason why she is out of all of them. I mean, you have, Saint Somers and you have Saint Killingham, but then you just have Gunko. So that's the whole part of this. And to do that, they also gave her, she proved herself, and she could have easily, like, the medicine or the trauma of everything could have locked away her memories. And so she doesn't remember her family. She just remembers everything from the point where she was saved and cured, and she thinks that she owes these people her life. So therefore, that is why she's so incredibly dedicated to them. And the hints of, like, Brooke being like, she is familiar, is him seeing her soul and how it matches how he would have seen Law's soul, and seeing that familiarity through
wow.
that.
Wow.
I like
So
it.
there's definitely a part of me that thinks that that is true, and that is part of it. And honestly, Oda don't be killing nobody. So the fact that if she was still alive, which her name would be is Lammy, I believe, Lammy
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, it would be very interesting to see if Beppo brings Law to Elbaf,
Wow.
and she sees Law, if everything would come back to her. You know,
It it's funny you say that. Sorry to interject real quick because like
no, go
I
ahead.
I'm kind of on that memory thing with you, but Brooks' crew died from poison arrows. And so she, now like what if Law's sister, what if she had like that power before and when she shot the arrows because of the sickness, like oh, I guess that timeline wouldn't actually add up at all.
It wouldn't, just because
But
when
no, not
Brooke
if it
got,
was Law's. Not if it was Law's
yeah,
sister. It wouldn't add
yeah.
up. But if all right, go on, go on. I'll when I get to mine, I'll explain it out
Okay.
because
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I was thinking. And I think that there's has to be something, and maybe this is me reaching here. But you know how we say, like, okay, well, devil fruits, the belief in something in like a devil fruit brings that out.
yeah,
Like, what if the God's Knights, they're only invulnerable because they are believed to be that, or because of the people that are subservient to them? Because the way that Brooke like basically lashed out and basically said, like, I'm not going to be your slave, I would rather die, like, I only trust my captain, the way that he was interjecting made her really mad. And when she hit him, after she was done hitting him, she clutched her chest.
Yeah, that's
like
what I was
she
gonna bring
felt
up.
the pain. Yeah, that
Exactly.
Interesting,
So it's
interesting.
almost like the lack of belief, or like the lack of subservience, is what couldn't hurt them.
Ah,
And
see,
because,
I think it's something slightly different.
well, it would make sense, right? Because think about
Yeah,
all of the people on Egghead, especially like the Gorsei and stuff like that. All of those Marines believed that these Gorsei or these people and was subservient to them, and they were invulnerable the whole time. The only time that it stopped was a blast of hockey from Joy Boy.
Yes.
Like, so
to
if
be a
they,
girl One Piece.
yeah, so if it is the antithesis of that, similar to how, you know, if you believe in devil fruits, they can come to exist, or we don't even know if the belief in devil fruits can even make devil fruits
Yeah.
stronger.
Yeah,
It's also, remember, that's only Vegapunk's theory. He hasn't confirmed it yet. That's just what he believes.
Exactly. So there's a possibility that there's even another level to that that can become the antithesis of that. So it's very interesting, because when I saw her clutch her chest, I was like, that's weird. That's something to take note of.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Like
and
that was done on purpose. Like there's
yes,
something that
I
we're
have
not
a,
seeing
I
there.
have a question. Is this the first time we have seen one of the God's Knights physically hit Brooke? Because Saturn didn't. I checked the Egghead stuff. Nobody hit Brooke at Egghead, but I
No,
wasn't sure if one of these, like, since we've seen like the apparitions and stuff, has any of them actually done any physical damage to Brooke? Any of the God's Knights?
I don't
no,
believe so. And I have seen someone, like, I, again, this is not something that I want to take credit for, that the reason why all of these God's Knights are invulnerable and stuff like that is because they have a piece of Emu's soul inside of them.
yeah,
And
I want to touch on.
when she hit Brooke,
makes
his
sense. He's
soul power was disrupting Emu's soul power.
In a
And
similar way to how he impacted the homies of Big Mom.
exactly. So that fluctuation in that soul power made her feel vulnerable. And honestly, what would be really sick, this is just what I'm thinking, is the fact that if it is Lammy, imagine that Emu infused their soul with Lammy to save her from the white lead disease. And when she hit Brooke, the white lead disease started to come back a little bit, and that's why she clutched her chest.
wow. So you guys still think I'm wrong about Elbaf being about Brooke?
I don't. I
Well, so I was
You
going to
guys
talk to
still
you
think it's
about this
Usopp's
again.
arc?
So I still hope that it has something to do with Usopp, but if Brooke was involved as well now, I wouldn't be surprised
I would love that. I would love like Brooke
to get some
to
love.
yeah. Like
Yeah, I'm with you.
he's such a cool character. Like when you look beyond like all the underwear shit stuff, You
That's the
know,
best
like
part.
no, like he's actually like it's such deep character development.
Well,
Like
this is the apart from Zoro's like exclamation to like Mihawk and stuff like that. This is the first time in a long time that we've seen one of the Straw Hats really like ride Luffy. Like no, 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 no. Even if I'm dead, I'm not going anywhere. That sort of stuff.
I
well,
mean, I don't know. I've seen all the Straw Hats ride hard. I mean, even
Oh, no,
even
I know it's happened. It hasn't happened in quite a while.
well, Nami on Wano, she was willing to get
yeah,
headbutted to death,
Oh no, no, no,
and
no, no! I know. I mean like the true like a conversation. So I
mm,
know like every now and again they all shout Luffy's going to be Pirate King. That wasn't what Brook did. Brook was like, no, 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 I can't. I'm sorry, I can't do anything for you. Not because maybe I don't want to, but because I just can't. My honor is like he says, my honor is more important than my life.
yeah. I mean, I would take that back to then Jinbei just like
y-
standing on business and being like,
Yeah, but that was
I,
that's years ago, years and
I
years.
mean, not in
I,
the show. Technically, it's
yeah,
months,
No, no, okay.
yeah,
So
maybe weeks.
I mean to us, the reader. Everything's only been happening over the last 6 months to the Straw Hats.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, if we're actually talking about it, it's been like what? How long have they been on their, as I like to call it, the world tour? You know,
it's
like
like 2.5 years.
Yes,
yeah, which is
it's
not
two
that
two
long.
years, 8 months.
Yeah,
Which isn't that long if
No,
we're
it's not. It's not.
comparing it to Rogers or anyone. You
Yeah,
know,
we definitely
yeah.
need to have a conversation about that at some point
like
because that's a
Taylor
big
Swift has had longer tours than the Straw
the Straw
Hats. You
Hats.
know,
Yeah, true
like
story.
it's yeah, yeah. I don't. It's that's really cool. I also what like on just like a base level of that theory, I like it because um it's like almost a riff on the Surgeon of Death, you know? Like that would play into it. Like who would be better than to like be the Surgeon of Death than someone's like, sister who he thinks is dead that's like been brought back to life by who we think is, you know, like the end game, the final boss,
See, I
like
would love it, but I just think it's too similar to what happened to Sabo. That's all.
So I actually just had another thought while you were saying that, and I absolutely hate myself for thinking this. And I was like, imagine Law finds out that his sister
and
is
uses the
this person and uses the
yeah.
immortality
No,
surge
I,
and
no,
I was
God, no,
literally thinking the same thing, and
no,
I was like,
no.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
Things
I
that
yeah.
was
would
like,
make
I'm gonna keep.
things that would make me give up on One Piece. That's up there.
But think
If Law ever uses that ability, it goes in the face of everything him and Corazon did. Everything. It
but
spits in
think
Corazon's
about
face.
I don't
No,
believe so because
I
and
don't think so
this is
either.
how I think that it would happen. He finds out that this is King Lammy. They end up he obviously is probably going to play a huge part in the final war. His sister's the final villain that he fights.
Yep.
And when he beats her, the mark goes away and her like white lead disease starts coming back and he uses it on her and he's like passing on Corazon's will. He's like, listen, he used his abilities to save me and gave me this fruit so that I could keep living. And now it's your turn.
And you want to know what would be kind of wild about that also though? Like, what did she grab? Like, she grabbed her chest, right? But like where her heart is and what's Law's, what's his crew's
The
name?
Heart
The Heart
Pirates, yeah.
Pirates.
Like that. I mean that could be a total stretch, but like, like that's why we talk about these things because like
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
could see that, like
Oh no, I
like
can see it. I can see it.
I'm not even I wasn't even like thinking that till you brought that up, but like to me that's not even a stretch. Like the Hearts Pirates, and then it's like like
it
this is why.
would it would hit the perfect to me it would be a really great thematic way of showing Law become that person for someone else, the Corazon to someone else,
Yeah,
so he Corazon sacrificed himself to save Law so that he could keep living. Lammy never had a chance to live the way that she should have. And so this would be his chance to give her the same opportunity he has. After Corazon died, he's lived many years doing the things that he's wanted to do, you
Yeah.
know? And so this to me would be his chance to do that. And it would wrap everything up in kind of like a really nice bow. I hate it because I love Law. I want
Yeah,
him to continue to
exactly.
live and because he's my goat.
Yeah,
But
me too.
like honestly though, I kind of love it at the same time.
Y-
It would make
Because he's
him
my goat. Because
yeah,
he's my
because
goat, though.
he's a tragic character,
This is
and
the
this
Yeah.
would
same
be
reason I want
tragedy.
Doflamingo to come back. It's not because it's a good idea, but because we love the character so
No,
much.
I think
I
it's a
actually
good
don't hate
idea.
the
Oh no
idea.
no no!
Like,
It's the idea is fine.
I
Sorry,
actually
I should
like it. Like, it's
sorry,
really growing on me.
I should have clarified. I thought we were still talking about people doing stuff for Luffy, and I thought you guys meant the whole because we talked about it before, where Law gives his immortality up to make Luffy live. I thought we were talking about that.
Well,
That's
listen.
what that
I think
that's
no.
what
I
I would
think
hate.
I wouldn't. I think it's happening one way or not. I don't think Laws
For
is.
his sister, absolutely no problem
No,
with that. I have no
or
problem with him doing
Luffy
it for his sister.
but you'll
No,
see
not
why. I mean,
Luffy. No, I despise the idea of
yeah,
doing
I
it for
can't.
Luffy.
you despise it. You
Yeah,
despise it.
I
that's what
also
I
do.
said. That's what I said.
No,
I said I despise it.
because see, here's the thing. I don't think that I don't, and you'll see why. I mean, you guys, I sent you that theory, but to me, that would play my Gunko theory. That would play into it. That what if what if devil fruit users and hockey users, like aren't able to be strong enough to kill Emu. And so my theory that I'd send you is that I sent you guys that I'll get into would explain what Luffy needs, you know, to defeat Emu. And so if he died and Law brought him back, Dragon gives him the mark, and now he's got whatever that means, and it also explain. Let's get into my theory so that people
Yeah,
don't just have me saying my theory. And
yeah. Go ahead. Do
Go
your
for it.
thing.
yeah, let me grab my notes. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Um, okay, so that's a different 1147 one. Geez, I send you guys a lot of messages in our
Yes,
group
you
chat.
do.
You guys must be very annoyed with me.
No, I enjoy reading it.
No, okay, all right. So what if there was a power that's older than hockey, that came before devil fruits? Because we all know that. Oh, I thought you were waving at me.
Oh no, I'm trying to
Yeah,
get my thing to stop auto
yeah.
tuning on me.
I was like, hi, buddy. um, okay, so older than devil fruits, that's like tied to symbols, and part of the reason that had me going on this theory also is there's the same symbols on Emu's. There's symbols that are on Emu's chair and behind him that are on Mihawk's sword as well. So I think there's another power in this world. So the four knights, right? They get summoned through the circle, right? Um, one used by the Gurusai. Gunko shows um, infinite regeneration, and that poses my question to what are they doing? How are they doing this? And that's why I wanted to talk about this. So, what about Miss Golden Week, right? So, 16 years old, no devil fruit, yet her drawings could alter reality itself. Many thought her story was abandoned, but in Chapter 11:15, she quietly reappears, reacting to Vegapunk's message. Her power isn't strength or speed, it's art and symbols. It's the same kind of symbols that appear today etched onto the Holy Knights. Saint Summers bore a mark on his arm, and Saint Shepherd revealed those without the mark can't travel through the circle. The mark could be the key to teleportation or maybe to their eternal life, right? And the connection goes deeper. Miss Goldenweek's real name, Marianne, is a symbol of French Revolution, which would tie her in One Piece to the Revs, the Revolution, which could tie her to Dragon. And why Dragon? Why we haven't seen him go hard yet? Because they couldn't reveal his powers. What if he has that mark? What if his mark is that tattoo or marking on his, eye, right? So a man whose face is literally marked with the symbol, I don't know, the government and the revolutionaries both drawing from like a hidden power. I think that would be like, it would explain why haven't we seen Dragon move? Because we needed the Gorosei and the Holy Knights um, to fill in how he got his power. We can't just like if we would have seen Dragon use like a power based on his mark, based on symbols early on, like this chapter wouldn't be as dramatic as it's been, and it's a really interesting chapter to me. So basically, I think there's a third force that has to do with symbols and art that will relate to power. And also, yeah, so that brings me to my Mihawk and Emu thing. So if you look on his sword, what do they call it? Like a sheath that holds a sword. There's like these symbols that if you look at Emu's throne room, they're the same symbols are behind him and like on the arms of his chair or like around the chair, but like around the bottom part, not like the top circle with like, in my opinion, is like based off the four blues and the ancient city, like the circle with the, if are you guys looking at his throne?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right
Do,
now.
do you see maybe I can pull up the
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like the like almost
So-
like
The art style is definitely derived from each other. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but like that to me, I mean, it would like God, it wouldn't be satisfying, but it would make sense. This is why we haven't seen Dragon do much,
I have a take on that afterwards. I can explain on why he hasn't done anything.
Well, good thing we're
He's
talking about
lazy.
1147.
He's lazy.
Yeah.
Just bored.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just a bum.
Yeah,
He's like, I don't want to be in my kid's life too
Yeah, I was
much.
gonna say,
bro.
yeah. Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like someone piece things like who would you see like they're like anybody in One Piece could fight anybody. And at first it was like something that TOPT was they were on, right? And I was like Usopp versus Emu, not happening. And then they made a joke about it. And I was like, it's more realistic to see like Dragon versus a chair, who would win? And then I was like, and then they started like cracking up, and I was like, a chair. Like I grew up in the '90s. Do you know how many chairs I saw go through people's heads? Like
True
Stone
story.
Cold Steve Austin. Like
Oh,
do you know how
I
many?
I thought you meant at school.
Oh no. Oh, I mean yes, also, but like Like I've seen more damage done by chairs than I have
by dragon.
dragon.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Dragon, the only thing that he's fighting is like probably the intense like muscle cramp in his
Hey,
neck
no,
from looking east.
wait,
It's like,
Attribution.
he
Yeah.
he blew out those birthday candles again when Blue Jam was there, when they were burning down the Grey Terminal.
yeah.
He huffed and he puffed and he saved everybody.
Yes.
Listen, I have a lot of disdain for Dragon just because of the fact that I caped for him for so long.
I think we
And
all
Not me.
I have nothing to show for it.
Not me.
no. Broker, I'm gonna call it BS because I think when he showed up and quote unquote saved Luffy, everybody was like, okay, it's
Not
raining.
me.
It's
Are you
raining.
joking?
It's raining.
not-
No, it's raining. He's got like some type of water devil fruit.
No, he has a wind logia. That's it. That's all it is. He used to be an admiral. He quit. That's it. He was at God Valley.
But so that would make sense though. Then my theory, like if he was the insurgent serpent,
Yeah.
like
I mean,
like,
I think that you're right. I think that for some reason symbols have some sort of meaning. Obviously, I mean, it could be, yeah, it could be something simple as like that's actually ancient kingdom like manuscript, and maybe that's what they use.
Even just their art style, even ancient kingdom art style.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. Like maybe that's what they use as their power before devil fruits. Or maybe that's even how they created devil fruits. Like that was their
I was gonna say something similar. I was gonna say that it's a form of technology, but because it's so advanced, to us it looks like magic.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing though. Why did they show her when Vegapunk was like after literally 15 years? It was 15 years since they showed Miss Golden Week.
Yep.
A week before Golden Week. Like come on.
Yeah.
Oh, I can totally see it. I can totally see it.
Like there's like similarities this year that have been happening in One Piece that like Dragon's like it's time to it's time to go, yet they still haven't done it.
Well, he's working on his physical therapy so he can move finally.
But like on the Chinese Lunar New Year, when it was either becoming the year of the serpent or leaving it, whichever one, and then this released a week before Golden Week, Miss Golden Week, like that, like to me that like those are weird patterns that I see that like to me someone like Oda would know what he's doing, like when it comes to something like
that. So to add to that, I wonder how many Year of the Dragons there's been where everyone has said, well, it's the Year of the Dragon, Oda's definitely going to do stuff with Dragon now. How many since they started writing One Piece, how many times has it been the Year of the Dragon?
Twice.
Well, technically,
twice.
Yeah, I was going to say
not that many. Not that many. I wonder if when he saved Luffy was when the last time it was the Year of the Dragon.
That's what I was about to say.
I don't know. You'd have to look that up. I know that.
Yeah, you're just ahead of me.
But it's just
okay,
like
you go ahead, look it up.
I got it. All right.
Yeah, I really hope that Dragon does do something soon because I'm losing hope by the day. It's
just gonna be like it's at this point. It's just like not gonna be dramatic anymore. Like it's like 300 chapters too late to be like really dramatic. Like it's just like do you know how epic it would have to be for us to forgive all this time? And that's what I'm saying. Like that's why like his power can't just be a devil fruit.
Oh shit! It came out on my birthday, 1990. Not the year. I wish. No, yeah, August 9th.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh shit! It came out on the Year of the Dragon," and I was gonna be like, "Yes."
No. I'm checking. So I'm checking what year that 1999 was.
You were born in 1999, bro? No, I'm kidding.
No,
No,
no, no,
no.
no. That no, I wish. No, that's when
Yeah, yeah.
no, no, 1999 is the year of the rabbit.
What?
Mm.
Okay, what was 98 and uh
Hang
2000 though?
hang on, I'm
Well,
checking.
so that would have been Logtown.
98 is the tiger, and you say 2000. 2000 was the dragon. But again, we're having to go a whole year afterwards now. So
Well, here's the thing though. So, I mean, if the year of the dragon was 2000, that means we were 2 years into One Piece being done. That would probably take us to around Logtown.
Yeah.
no,
Yo,
again, I
I'm on to
guess.
something.
Well, yeah, but no, but I'm saying the first appearance of Dragon is in chapter 100, and that was released August 9th, 1999,
Oh,
which was the year,
so
which is the year of
Wait,
the
so you're
rabbit.
telling me I have to wait 11 more years for Dragon to do
To do
something
something
again?
exactly, yeah, exactly.
that's tough.
That is
Um,
rough.
but yeah, like I don't know. I have a very much like so I had the same problem with Garp, but I knew Garp was that good because
Yeah.
like you know it you go based upon who they scale with
To the
and the
Pirate
fact
King, exactly.
exactly
Yeah.
I have nobody to base Dragon off
Well,
of.
no,
I
exactly. He hasn't done anything yet.
He's
Well,
stronger than Smoker.
Oh yeah, well, yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. No,
Like,
no, no,
that's
no,
not
no.
saying
It's
like,
no,
but
it's no. It's not even that. That we don't know how that fight ended. For all we know, Smoker kicked his ass and he ran away. You know.
listen, there's no way that if Dragon gets dog walked by Smoker, I'm done. I'm
yeah,
done.
yeah, exactly. Well, we don't know. What if
it's
Smoker
so it. Believe it or not,
what if Smoker awakened off screen? Like,
Shut up.
And what if Blackbeard rolled through right at that
Yep.
moment?
yeah, exactly. And gave Dragon 3 devil fruits.
Yeah.
Stop
Like
talking.
he's like you're actually my test subject, so I can actually
Yeah.
eat three.
So this
Yeah.
is what's crazy, right? But I know you two don't like it, but believe it or not, one of the things I find most compelling about One Piece in terms of the way I know it's fantasy, but some of the stuff he sticks to is realism because he follows a lot of actual history.
No,
Dragon
I
not
love.
no Dragon not doing anything is the most realistic thing in terms of military that we've ever seen in One Piece because you only get one chance at revolution. One. There's no second chances. There's not been a revolution in history that failed and then succeeded like the next 6 months or years later. It normally takes a generation, like it did with the French Revolution. The first French Revolution failed miserably. It
Which
took a whole
plays back, but that plays exactly into my theory right now. Marie
I,
Golden, that's like French Revolution 101.
Exactly, but I'm saying, but people always moan and say, "Oh, Dragon is a bum. Dragon hasn't done anything." Dragon can't do anything because you don't. It's the reason he told Kuma not to go after Ginny because it's like, no, we don't get more. We only get one chance at this. That we have to do things the way that is good enough for the mission, not good enough for ourselves.
And
Yeah,
I'm cool with that, but here's my issue is I hate people who are saying that he is this guy who's so tough and
Oh no,
like
I don't think so at all.
and
exactly
like the
exactly,
biggest
but it's those
family.
people that literally are like he's literally the most wanted criminal. He's got to be
Yep,
so strong.
yeah.
I'm like if
Look
he
at
was so
Robin. Look at
strong, he
Robin.
could have yeah.
Yeah,
He
well,
could
Robin is
he could have easily
yeah,
taken Ginny back,
yeah.
and sure,
Robin
it
is
would
the
have
answer
painted
to that.
it would have painted a target on his back. But you don't think doing everything else is also like starting these revolutions? Like everyone knew who Dragon was, like to the point where Smoker, a low level, like what was he, a captain when
Yeah.
he first started? A
exactly.
captain knew who Dragon was. You're
Well,
gonna
they
tell
all
me.
know who he is. It's not about knowing who he is. It's about like we see with at the moment on Elbaf, where even though the God's Knights are meant to be indestructible, they still aren't going to make problems with an Emperor of the Sea. What if they are literally indestructible? Why would they care? Why not just take out a threat right here and now? That's the most interesting line to me is that. So through all of Egghead so far, that's the most interesting line of dialogue.
So part of me, so going back to like um Emu giving his soul out. So like I had thought about that and I had mentioned that like he can give these powers out, but when they're given out, he
Yeah,
can't
you talked about this last week
he
with us
can't
again.
use them. And so what if it's more of like they're getting kind of like an internal command, don't go after him, because if you do and I lose that power and I don't have the power, the chance, because
But
like
how could but
wait
how
wait
can they
wait
lose the
wait
power?
wait wait
Mhm.
because he
Sorry.
did not have the chance
Mhm.
to like Saturn, like he got it back from Saturn. He took Saturn out, like it's not like, Luffy didn't kill Saturn, you know. So, like
Well,
if
I see that. What I'm saying is that if they are indestructible, if they're immortal, cannot be damaged in any way, then why not just gang up on Luffy right now, take out every single one of the straw outs one by one, gang up on them one at a time, deal with them, and then the problem is gone. No more having to worry about Nika. That's problem solved.
well, that's because I don't think they're
This is my thing. They
immortal.
must have some kind of vulnerability that they are aware of themselves. Even if nobody else, like Saul, doesn't seem to know that they have any vulnerabilities, but like they must know they have a vulnerability, and they must know that it is at least in the realm of possibility that Luffy or someone on the Straw Hats is capable of doing it to them. Because otherwise, they'd have no reason to fear an emperor at all.
I will say that was one of the things that actually like not pissed me off per se, but like the fact that Saul knew of the God's Knights and knew
Yeah,
they were immortal, that really rubbed me the wrong way because I'm
me
like,
too.
does everybody who's a vice admiral know then? Because like
Yeah, like who's
there's
in
a
on the
lot of
secret?
vice admirals that like, and I'm like, I just it that key thing literally like rubbed me the wrong way because I'm like, if
Who else
every
is in
it
on the
like
secret?
well yeah because like okay so if Dragon was a Marine,
Yeah,
which he
you would
was,
know then.
he would get and he got to maybe vice admiral or admiral and he knew that and that's how he knew about them. But it was weird because it's just like if you knew that this was a threat, then you should know how to take them out.
Yeah.
And in which case, they would become less of a threat to you. And in which case, you should have rolled with your 4 generals and your chief of staff to Marijois when you invaded, and you could have bodied them. There's just like things that I feel like are not quite adding up, and I need a lot more exposition and lore drop to give me the answers that I need.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Saul is actually a member of the Revs, and because at least then the Revs would share information about them. Do you know what I mean? Like if that's just information that the Revs have managed to unearth, that's something
I
at least.
actually like that way better than him just being a
Yeah,
vice admiral
exactly.
and
Yeah,
knowing.
same here. Because remember that the idea of like their indestructibility and stuff was one of the things they didn't want normal Marines to know at Egghead with when the Gurusei were doing it. So it just bothers me. There shouldn't be this much information spread around like the vice admiral rank. I agree with Taku.
Yeah, most definitely. But
If I were Emu and the Gurusei, I wouldn't even want admirals necessarily knowing about them. The fleet admiral, fine. Like whenever there's a new fleet admiral, we let them know. And because again, if the fleet admiral says, "Oh, there's going to be some people turning up," just let them do whatever they want. We've already had the same sort of thing, like permission be given when it comes to like just the warlords. The warlords have been given permission to do things against Marines say so.
But
So it wouldn't bother me that much.
but if Dragon knew that, we'd have to think that Ivankov would know that, and at this point, Sabo, right? Or at least when Sabo got back, um, um, at least when Sabo got back from like getting
Marie.
pierced, yeah, getting pierced by Emu, they would have been like, it's okay, you never had a chance type of deal,
Yeah.
right? And obviously we haven't gotten, much since then on the Revs. But yeah, and it just, to me, yeah, it rubs me the wrong way because your son is now an emperor. Why not get that message to him? Hey, you're gonna run into these people.
Oh
They
yeah,
might.
then that's the same thing of like Garp. Why didn't Garp ever teach any of the kids hockey? It's we get, if you fall into that trap, then you're going to be doing it all day.
No, but yeah, but still though, you can't not ask those questions.
Oh no, absolutely. This again. There is Oda has been writing for nearly 30 years. There are going to be plot holes. There is in any
Yeah.
the
Oh yeah.
best writing in the world has them, and One Piece is no exception.
Yeah.
Yeah. So broker, what was your what's your take on Gunko? Because we're running a little low on time.
Oh,
Although I think it's been really, I think we've
it's
kind of hit some really solid. I
yeah.
know
I was
next
going to
week
say
we
it's been
had a
good.
break, and I don't think we've gotten really past Gunko. So I
Yeah,
think maybe next week we should start with 1147 kind of theory.
yeah. My thing
Oh
isn't
no,
about
no, no, no!
my thing
God
isn't
Valley,
yeah.
God Valley
God
next
Yeah.
Valley.
week.
So my thing isn't about Gunko. Mine's about the other one,
Oh,
the one who makes the nightmares.
Killingham.
Yeah,
Killingham.
yeah. And it's just about the fact that he is so far the only non-villain the only villain rather that has a white what's the name of the scarves?
Hagoromo.
Hogoroska. He's the only one, and I think this is going to play into my thing, like I've said for so long now. Ever since we saw, I can't even remember I think the first people we see with the black ones are Lucci and Kaku, and literally as soon as that chapter
Yeah.
came out, I was like, oh, there is an artificial means of awakening devil fruits, and the same way with smiles, there is an artificial way of doing it, and that's what gives you black Horogoro scarves. And that if you can do it naturally, and that will give you the white ones. But if you have a black one, it means that you are using some scientific artificial means of awakening your fruit.
Well, do you think it could be like they're like, no, because then Killingham wouldn't have a white one. I was gonna say like
I was going to say, yeah, they've been kidnapping and torturing children. They're
Yeah,
not
exactly.
good. They're not good people.
Well, unless he's like
And it's
deep,
my
deep undercover,
Yeah, but my argument to that as well is Kaku, right? Lucci, you can argue that yes, he's a bad person. Kaku isn't. Kaku's a good guy, and yet his is black.
I mean, he's just one of those guys that is, he's kind of like how I feel Kizaru like basically announced himself. Like, I'm just a cog in the machine, bruh.
But you would never, if you had to categorize him as good.
No, Kizaru's not a
opposing
cog in
evil.
the machine, dude. He's taken out his not his daughter not by blood, or his son not by blood, and his best friend.
Yeah.
He ain't not a good dude. He
Yeah.
not no cog in the wheel. I'm sorry.
That's how he described himself.
I was only following orders.
Yeah, okay. So we're okay, never mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I covered it. Don't worry.
But also, I mean, technically, I mean, he didn't even take them out. He did a subpar job.
That's true. That is true.
But I think I can agree with that, broker. I do, because like the artificial awakening kind of makes sense, because like Lucci had his for longer. He does have that killer mind state.
2 years.
Kaku only had it for 2 years.
Yeah.
What I think lends to that point more than anything is the fact that the Cerberus fruit that Shamrock had for his
Yeah,
sword.
yeah, exactly.
Because, like, how do you have your mind and a body
Exactly, with a
catch up to a
sword.
sword?
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think
Um,
that's, like, the biggest point in your favor.
Oh, there's
There
more. There's more. Do you remember the awakened zones that were at oh, what was it? Impel Down?
Impel Down.
Yeah, and Crocodile Remarks. And again, I said that I it was on one of the TOPT podcasts I did as a call, and it was like that I think that was Vegapunk experimenting with artificial awakenings, and that they were like the first attempt, and they failed, and that's why they were just put down as, oh, you can be just guards now, you're mindless, it's not worked, it's just his prototype, and they failed, but now he's perfected it.
So then what do you think about the Gorosei having those artificial awakenings as well?
Because it's so, did you ever watch Power Rangers?
Yes,
Do you remember Lord Zed?
of course.
Right.
The goat.
Why did Lord Zed never just go down and take out the Power Rangers himself? Because he's the emperor of evil. It's not because he's powerful as such. They made him powerful later on, I know. But at that time, he was the one giving the orders. He's not out there doing training every single day. He's not doing battleship boxing and stuff like that. These people, we can assume they've been ruling for a very, very, very long time. They have no business with fights and stuff unless they are absolutely forced to. This is why it's just like that. There's no need for them to pick up and do anything unless they're trying to cover something up. They didn't go to Egghead because they were the only ones strong enough to deal with Luffy. They went there because they were trying to keep things so secret that they could only trust
Sorry, guys.
themselves
There's
to
someone
deal
at
with
my
it.
door.
It's all right, no worries.
I said, yeah, sorry about
It's all
that.
good.
So I would agree with that, but the only thing that I would have pushback on is the fact that they have hockey. They have Conqueror's hockey and stuff like that. So, like, my pushback would
But you're
be,
born with that.
yes, but you need to learn how to utilize it.
Yeah. But learning how to utilize a skill isn't the same as the massive effort that we assume goes through with having these like devil roots. Because my thing as well is, we know that they can be killed, and we're not necessarily thinking that these have been the only Gurusei for the last 800 years. Maybe it's chopped and changed and stuff, which means maybe they've only actually had these fruits for a very short window of time in comparison, and they don't have time. Maybe they've had loads of different fruits over the years. It's like, look, I don't have time to perfect my knowledge and like make myself equal to the fruit every time I get a new fruit. Just give me the pill and I'll take that.
Okay, that tracks. I know Saturn has been around for a while. Obviously, we saw him at
Yeah.
God Valley.
Yeah.
So we know that he's been around for at least 39 years.
I was going to say that, but it's been 800 is my point. It's been a long time.
It's definitely possible that there's been a changing of the guard over the years.
Especially since we know that Emu can kill them with absolutely no effort and from range as well.
Which again, so
touch them. They just have to be like not doing his bidding,
which
and
would
they
go
die.
back to your soul point, though.
Yeah,
like from the beginning, that like the soul can, like that he can like imbue his soul into people. Or she, sorry, because
so it's not so. We got to do. It's for a topic for another call, right? The fact that Emu is not a woman, and I can explain it. I can explain it in a really easy way as well, because of the rule of shonen.
Oh yeah. But like, so my other thing would be, I truly, so the reason why I think that the Gorosei would have the Hagoromo scarves, and the reason why I think that they are black is I think that it's all just given power from Emu anyway. They are unlocked through Emu, not because like, I truly think that, as soon as we see Fagarland, we don't know if he has a fruit or a past fruit, but I guarantee you he's going to have those black clouds as well.
Yeah.
And I would assume that he doesn't have a fruit, but he's going to have a power.
Yes, no.
As soon as he gets into action.
To play into both of our things, we could see Emu give Figarland a devil fruit, maybe even the same one that Saturn used to have, and then only a few weeks later we see him and he's already awakened the fruit.
I don't even
already.
think it's fruit powers. I truly think that it's just Emu's power, like him
Oh no,
him
that bit.
giving it through that.
I'm talking about. Remember the
So
scarves
you
at the
mean like
moment.
symbols or
Yeah.
art?
At the moment, the scarves are limited to devil fruit users. We've never seen a non-devil fruit person with the scarves ever.
But
So at the very least, they have these powers, but they also have a devil fruit, and the devil fruit awakening is what's giving them the scarves.
Well, technically, the Gorsei, to our knowledge, as of right now, do not have fruits because they were never given fruit names. They were just given the names of
exactly,
the
it just
Well,
demons
so
that they're
no,
that's
modeled
fi-
after.
that's fine, but again,
it
so what I'm saying is I'm only going off the rule. So the rule so far is that if you have the awakening scarf, you are a Zoan type and you are awakened. Whatever color it is, that seems to be the rule so far. Doflamingo was awakened. He did not have a scarf. Only Zoans have the scarves. And because they all had a scarf, therefore, at the moment, you could be right, but at the moment, the rule dictates that they must have a Zoan power.
Yeah, if we're
Because they,
going by
no,
rules.
hang on, no, but also no,
if yeah,
no,
if
hang on,
we're
wait,
going
there's
that
more.
way.
There's more because we also see them in hybrid forms. We see them in their hybrid forms. We see them switch to different forms. That also, as a rule so far, is exclusive to devil fruit users, Zoan
Okay,
users especially.
but but that the only thing I don't like about that is that so Luffy awakened before we see his hybrid form though then.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this is my thing. I think that his awakening took place earlier, and that the transformation we see is just a hybrid form using the fruit. Before that, he did not know that he had a Zoan fruit. So for some reason, again, this
Okay.
is one of those things. This is one of those things Oda's changed over the story, where it previously, if you ate a fruit, you had the full knowledge of what that fruit did once you'd eaten it. That was the rule before. That's been changed now. Fine, I don't mind. But the thing is, it's like, again, would I be surprised if Luffy was awakened beforehand? If you had to choose any character and say which character is most in tune with their devil fruit, I would choose Luffy every time. Every time.
Law, law,
I
law, law,
disagree.
law.
Again, but you just said you're a law stan. That's not an objective point
Well,
of view.
no. So
No.
my pick would be an L.
Oof.
Um,
That's
Okay,
but
but
but okay, okay. No, no. That's a great pick, but finish what you're saying.
but I was just gonna say, I mean, but he did have, even though he wasn't technically a Zoan, he did have that scarf when he went into his
his
full,
yes, but as
big
far as we're
form.
aware, he chose that look out of Lightning. So like but again, I wouldn't be surprised if we find out in like an Enel flashback scene that Enel also that form he took on is what the Skypians believe Nika looks like, and maybe they have their own name for it. And that was their version of Nika. The version they prayed to has the scarf and everything still, but it just looks different than how the giants think he looks.
That's always possible.
I mean, could it be could color be a lineage thing? Like, what if my whole uh uh um monkey theory about them being Shandians, like, what if Shandian lineage has like white? What if, you know,
But what about the
giant?
sword then? But what about the sword? The sword is just a sword. That's again, like I said, you can
Oh
get
yeah.
But it could be the wielder, you know, like we could see, what if we see it, what if we see someone, what if we see stabs go down and it changes hands and we see the color change? What would your thought be?
oh then it would prove my theory wrong. But I'm saying until
No, no,
then, based only on what we have, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm
yeah,
basing
no,
my theory on.
yeah, yeah, no, no, I hear you. I agree with you.
I
Um,
mean,
I think
yeah.
that's yeah.
This will also come into my theory that at some point on Egghead, Vegapunk is going to make Luffy finally aware that, or maybe even not Luffy directly, he's going to make the Straw Hats aware that Luffy doesn't have the Gum Gum fruit. There's no such thing. He has the Sun God human fruit model Nika, and that he has to stop using his awakening so often, and that then we can learn from Vegapunk, like I said before, that using devil fruit awakenings damages the user's body long term. And
Well,
that's why you see people only use it as like an absolute like last clutch thing. Like if they have no other choice, then they'll use it. Like Doflamingo. Doflamingo isn't shy about hiding his power, and yet he waited until he had taken really like mortal wounds from Law, from Luffy, etc., before he finally uses it. Whereas
yeah,
Luffy now is using it every chance he gets. Luffy
yeah.
is using this form so often now.
I could see that, but I think it would be way cooler if we hear that from either Kaido or Big Mom.
Oh no,
to
that's
Luffy.
yeah. So this is what
And
I was
right,
going to say. That we will then get the same explanation with it, and that's why Kaido and Big Mom didn't use it, because they don't have that many years left to live. Like they're already old, so they can't keep affording to use this power. They used it too much in their youth.
well, I don't think it's going to be an age thing, but I think it's going to be like a deterioration.
Yeah. Like I don't necessarily mean age. I'm just saying that if you get older by natural, just law of nature, your body is going to degrade.
Yeah, I would just be like, I would wonder if, Big Mom could just use someone else's lifespan then
It's
to, bolster her enough that it wouldn't matter.
That's true. That's true.
So that would be my only
So,
caveat to
so
that.
yeah, but like I said, there's a difference between healing a wound and healing sort of like the more underlying things, like Roger's sickness. It doesn't matter how many like senzu beans he would eat or how many times he's healed by a doctor. The underlying issue is always there.
Yeah.
I just want to see.
I hear you, but yeah, I hear
Sorry.
you.
Did you guys
No,
ever
I hear
see
you. Oh,
Did you
go
guys
ahead.
ever
Go
see the
ahead.
picture? There was a picture years back now of Oda's office, and on the table were these folders, and it was all these folders were really thick, and they were all labeled Gear 4. And it's like it was what first gave people the idea that there's going to be multiple different forms within the bracket of Gear 4. I want to see more of those rather than seeing more of Gear 5th. I want to see Tiger Man. I want to see Dragon Man and stuff like that. I would much prefer those things and then use Gear 5th in like if like do or die scenarios.
But if that was years ago, and I'm gonna because we're basically out of time, I'm gonna cap us at for this and on our final one statement on the topic of next week. Um, like the only thing is though, if that was years and years and years ago, like that could have just been like all the pre-work to deciding Snake Man, like like they just had to wheel it down to like, they're like, we're not gonna have Dragon Man, Batman, you know, so but on that note, we gotta wrap it up next week since there's no chat. I think, well, maybe we'll come back to 1147 and 1148 because I don't think there's gonna be that much, like this chapter was too packed that I think that 11, like not like too packed, but had like so much secrecy and mystery divulged in it that 1148 is going to be like not filler, but like a little bit more of like a breath out after you take the breath in. And so next week we're doing God Valley because it is break week. So my one hot take on God Valley for a wrap up is that Thriller Bark. It's all about Thriller Bark.
I got some stuff on that. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what the shadows were behind Thriller Bark. That's going to be my addition to it.
I think Ryome is the one that cut it, the god of the blade.
Oh, Ryuma. Yeah.
Ryuma. Sorry. But
Yeah.
we'll
like get into it.
Yeah, we've seen Zoro's slashes, huge things, so why couldn't, the god of the blade do it?
Most definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. I am NYC Anime Nerd on all platforms everywhere. And Thanks for joining us, and you guys are great co-hosts. Thanks.
Sorry. Sorry.
God Valley next week, guys. God Valley. We're gonna talk God Valley next week.
I am the broker 6973 on Discord.
And I am Nerdtaku on all platforms. And I'll
God
see you
Valley
guys
in
next
one.
time. God Valley in one.
Now God Valley in one.